So good morning to those who are present online as well as offline, and I request all of you to pay full-fledged attention. Your notebook should be with you. Sit properly in the class. Your pen, your notebook should be in your hand. Up to you. If you think your question is a bit difficult, you can note it down. Otherwise, we can discuss it straight away. So I'm going to ask question from the sample paper. Listen the question very carefully. It is this source-based question. A paragraph would be given to you, and from that paragraph you have to answer the question. So I'm going to start. Pin drop silence, online as well as offline. HDI stands for Human Development Index. You can't write this. You have to listen it. HDI stands for Human Development Index. HDI ranks in above table we can't. So the value of this, I guess we have discussed, the value of final goods and services done, right? So we are not going to discuss the same question again. Which of the following is true for GDP? First option is it includes the value of final goods and services produced within a country. Second, it is measured for 1 year. Third, both A and B are true. Fourth, both A and B are false. Perfect. Madhusudan, right answer you have given. That is both A and B are true. I am repeating A and B. It include means GDP includes the value of final goods and services produced within a country. And the second option is it is measured for 1 year. Definitely GDP is for a single year. But both options are correct. So third option they have given both A and B are true. So automatically we have to go with the third option. Next question is, which of the following is not correct with respect to the primary sector? First option is, I'm repeating, which of the following is not correct with respect to primary sector? So every one of you should have the meaning and as well as the points related to primary sector in your mind to find out the answer. So option first, these activities are undertaken by directly using natural resources. Second option is primary sector has emerged as a leading or largest producing sector in India. Third option, only both are correct. Fourth is none of these are correct. Second option is primary sector has emerged as the largest producing sector in India. Second option is not correct. That's correct. Your answer is right. Second option is not correct. It is wrong because primary sector is not at all the leading or the largest producing sector, at least in India. Got it? Dipanshu, clear? Okay. Tertiary sector from GDP, it's correct, but from employment point of view, it is less. Primary sector from employment point of view, it is more, but GDP is less. Question secondary. Tertiary bhi nahi hai, primary bhi nahi hai. Next is, which of the following is an activity of the tertiary sector? Options are dairy farming, mining, weaving, banking. Banking, because banking just provide what? Services. In the tertiary sector, what we get? Services. We don't get any goods from tertiary sector. Goods are produced either by primary or by secondary. Services are given by tertiary sector only. Clear? Dipanshu, clear, bache? All of you clear? One bit? Clear? Okay. Next question is, in the dash sector, the government owns most of the assets and provide all the services. That is public sector. Perfect. It can't be secondary or tertiary. Secondary, tertiary and primary sector are on the basis of nature of the job, nature of the services. Public and private, they are on the basis of the who owns what. So answer is public sector. Next question. Dash has highest share in GDP. Hold on, hold on. Dash has highest share in GDP. Answer is tertiary. And dash
Tertiary sector.
that's correct, beta. That's correct, online. And dash sector employs most of the people. Primary. Primary. I repeat all of you. Primary sector, we have more involvement of people. More employment is in primary, but less in GDP. Tertiary sector, more GDP, but less employment. Always keep this thing in your mind, please. Huh? Okay. Next is dash is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of the government. Hanji? Perfect. That is unorganized sector. Now I'm repeating the question for you, those who were not able to get the answer immediately. Parmod Chirag has given the answer. So for that's why I have to repeat the question. Otherwise, Chirag, well done, beta. Dash is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of the government. Means those units which cannot be controlled by the government, outside the control of the government, so automatically it is unorganized sector. And if question is like this, largely controlled by the government, then answer would be organized sector. I'm not getting your point. Rewrite. Huh. But while rewriting the answer, the statement, the meaning of the statement should be perfect, right? Next is the sectors are classified into public and private sector on the basis of, you tell me without any options. Ownership. Perfect. That is ownership. I am the owner of this building. Private. Government is owner of this building. Public. Ownership. Huh? Question? Okay. Question is the sectors are classified into public, private on the basis of, answer is ownership. Also come and sit here. You are totally aloof from that, Sanjay. Next question is production of a commodity mostly through the natural process is an activity in the dash sector. This was primary sector.
Primary.
Answer. This question was there, I guess, 2 or 3 years ago. This question was there in the final exam, and because this is totally a line from NCERT book. So those students have gone through this. It's okay. Otherwise, yes, a question it can create confusion because if you will listen to the question again, you can think it can be secondary also. So again, I repeat for this to avoid such kind of dilemma, better go through the book, read the book, which is very important. Next question is very simple, I guess. GDP is the sum total of the value of dash goods produced during a
Final.
final goods. Okay. Options are all goods and services, final goods and services, all final goods and services. That's correct. Next is okay. Read the information and write a single term. Okay. You have to give me single term. It is a sector which covers those enterprises or place of work where the terms of employment are regular and therefore organized sector. Should I repeat the question, Manpreet? Okay. It is a sector which covers those enterprise or place of work where the terms of employment are regular and therefore people have regular work. So automatically answer is organized. Organized sector, everything is according to the government. All terms, conditions, rules, regulation, appointment letter, paid holidays, Sundays, so no overtime, no exploitation, regular day, working hours, everything is under organized sector. Got it? And vice versa, unorganized sector. Next is this activity consists of all services, occupation, transportation, communication, that is tertiary. So answer should
Tertiary.
be, yes, that's correct, beta. Answer should be like this. I always say, whenever teacher is speaking and answers are coming out from the students immediately, it means your clarity of concept is there. Got it? And if any doubt, free to discuss. I never say ki don't discuss. Always welcome. Whatever question is in your mind, you can ask. Next, fill up. Dash goods are used up in producing final goods and services. Intermediate.
Intermediate.
That's correct, beta. Intermediate. Next, in India, the mammoth task of measuring GDP is undertaken by central government. So Chirag is leading. Kindly, all of you, please try to give answer like he is giving. Okay? No, undoubtedly there is no race, but even then, individually we should know. Yes, we have to answer, ma'am. Whatever right or wrong answer you are coming in your mind. Huh? Mammoth is huge, very big. That is mammoth. Like final exam for 10th class, mammoth task, right? Right? Online, slipping or here? Yes, Dia is saying yes. Good, Dia, you are always here. Okay. Next is, in the dash sector, government owns most of the assets and provide all the services. Public sector.
Public sector.
That's correct. Okay. Now I'm going to read short answer type questions. 3 mark questions can be there. So if any question is not clear, kindly ask. ठीक है? I always say please ask. Don't feel shy. Don't feel like this कि हमने नहीं पूछना है. You're here. Use your time in a perfect way. You're coming to school. So better utilize the time the way it should be utilized. Purav, please, you also sit here. Dhruv. Okay, next is distinguish between primary and tertiary sector. I guess no problem is there, Manpreet. Primary and secondary, or if question is secondary and tertiary, all of you are able to, Ariman, sit properly. All of you are able to answer, I guess so. Okay, next is, how is GDP calculated? Can you do this question? नहीं, वैसे पहले वैसे ही बताइए. Example would come later on. How is GDP calculated? And yes, that's right, that's right. GDP is calculated by adding production of all 3 sectors. Whenever the question is about all 3 sector, means primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. And whenever we'll write down the word tertiary sector, it means what? Services. All goods and services. Goods are produced by primary and secondary, and tertiary provide us services. So GDP is calculated by adding all production from all 3 sectors, primary, secondary and tertiary. Clear beta? Arzu clear bachche? Next is identify the unemployment type. Question is, under this, the worker is working, but if he is removed, the production does not disguise. Very correct.
Disguised unemployment.
That's correct. That's very correct. Disguised. Next is, Thema, state 2 objectives of Manrega. Can you do this? What is a full form of Narega and Manrega? Assis. Huh? No? Manpreet. That's correct. MGNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee. And past in how many? This 100 days. And prominent, first of all, initial districts which were selected, how many were there? 200 districts. Most backward districts, 200 districts were selected by the government. I repeat, Mahatma Gandhi National and Rural R Employment E Guarantee G Act. So Narega and Manrega. Manrega is Mahatma Gandhi. Uske baad same Narega. So 2005 it was launched by the government, keeping this thing in the mind that the poorest, the most backward areas, 200 districts were selected by the government. उसमें ये कहा गया कि we will provide the rural people living there, particularly boys, men, कि we will provide 100 days work to you people, and if government is not able to provide 100-day jobs, then the compensation would be given in the form of money to them. Clear? So it should be very much on your tips because it is very famous and quite successful actor also, right? Okay, next is write two advantages of working in an organized sector. So fixed, all positive you have to write, right? Fixed working hours, gratuity, rules, regulations, paid holidays, provident fund वगैरह, right? Okay, Manpreet, clear beta? Compare public and private sector. I guess this you can easily do. Yes or no? And private if question is here, you can talk about any bank. And public if question is here, you can talk about any railways, transportation, कुछ भी बात कर सकते हो. Next is, listen the huge paragraph and you have to give me answer. Kanta works in an office. This is from your NCRT. She attends her office from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. She gets her salary regularly at the end of every month. In addition to the salary, she also gets PF as per the rules laid down by the government. She also gets medical and other allowances. Kanta does not go to office on Sundays. This is a paid holiday. When she joined work, she was given an appointment letter stating all the terms and conditions of work. Now, this is a paragraph. Now, we have to find out the question. Question is, on the basis of the working condition given in the source. Source is a paragraph which I have read. In your test, in your exam, source would be there and you have to find out the paragraph, just like comprehension you people do in English. So, on the basis of the working condition given in the source, identify the sector in which Kanta is working. Perfect. That is organized. So, I repeat, go through the book. This paragraph totally is from the book. It's not about paragraph. Otherwise, if clarity of concept is there, you can attempt the answer. Next, state any two differences between organized and unorganized sector. I think all of you can do it. Two differences between organized and unorganized sector. If any one of you are having any doubt, kindly ask me right now. Assis, Dipanshu. Okay, voice clear, beta? Araman? Okay, next. Is it correct or incorrect? Self-help groups are the formal sources of credit. Incorrect? Then what is correct? Informal sources of credit. I repeat, self-help group, which we also call it as SHG. These are the groups which are basically made by poor people, particularly in the rural areas and again particularly by the women. Motive क्या है? To collect money, to pool the resources. And after a month, if you are quite regular in your saving, say 1 month you have collected 5,000, next month you have collected 5,000, and if continuously you are getting 5,000 per month, and it is regular without any break, you can deposit the money in the bank, and that would work as a collateral if you want to get a loan. No, informal. Because if they are regular in their saving, registered by the government, then only, and that is again to get that again it would work as a collateral, and by making that collateral as a base, they can get the loan. So it is not a formal sector at all. Formal may be just have two. One is bank, second is cooperative bank. Always keep this thing in your mind. Formal may we have just two, banks and cooperative. Informal may all whatever is left. Money lenders are there, finances are there, relatives are there, friends are there. They all fall under informal sources of credit. But yes, SHG का सबसे बड़ा फायदा क्या है? Those people who are not able to get loan from the bank because they don't have any collateral, they can get loan from SHG. तो उनकी requirement के accordingly SHG can provide them loan. Got it? Next, Dash issues currency note. Which one is correct? Let me finish the statement. Now you get the answer. Dash issues currency note on behalf of central government, RBI. Now here RBI. Agar question है Dash issues currency note, yeah, the Dash government issue currency note, then it would be the central government. State doesn't have this power. This is totally in the hands of central government. Dash is widely accepted as a medium of exchange in India. Money.
Rupee.
Money. Widely accepted as a medium of exchange for goods and services. Rupees nahi hai. Rupee is a currency of India. Third question is, read the question, listen the question once again. Dash act as a medium of exchange for goods and services. If we people want to do trade with the US, with Sri Lanka and all that, We can't say कि rupees में करना है. That is money. India में it is rupees. We are clear बच्चे? Next question. Dash is a paper. I guess from the first, huh? Instructing the bank. Check. A very clear-cut definition of a check should be on your tips. Dash is a paper, so I'm going to read the definition. Check is a paper instructing the bank to pay a specific amount from the person's account to the person in whose name the check has been issued. A proper definition of check which should be on your tips. Can't ignore it. Okay, next is, okay, read the information and write a single term. You have to listen the information, you have to say a single term. It comprises of interest rate, collateral, document requirement, and the mode of payment. Terms of credit. Always keep one thing in your mind. Terms of credit contain 4 points. First is documentation. Second is mode of repayment. Third is collateral. Fourth is interest rate. ये 4 ही point है terms of credit. It means if we want to have credit, if we want to get loan from the bank, these 4 formalities we have to fulfill. Interest rate we have to pay, mode of repayment we have to decide, collateral we have to give, and documents we have to show. ये सब करने के बाद then only we can get loan from the bank. So these collectively known as terms of credit. Is this point clear? Online clear बच्चे? So okay. Next is, it is a system of exchanging goods. Very simple. Barter system. In barter system. That's correct. That's correct. Thanks to all those who are giving feedback. So barter system is the exchange of goods. Barter system is there is no use of money. We just exchange goods with each other, right? And we have done. Barter system became a failure right now because of which problem? Double coincidence. That's correct. A single term we can say double coincidence of want, जिसमें ये था जो आपको चाहिए whatever we have discussed it, right? Okay, next is which these are the deposits with the bank which can be withdrawn on demand. So automatically demand deposit. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Demand deposit means whatever I have deposited in the bank, if I am in need, I can withdraw that from the bank. That is my demand. Demand deposit. Whatever I have deposited on my demand, I can withdraw it. Got it? One pe clear bachche? Okay. Next is very short questions. What is barter system? What is double coincidence of wants? What are demand deposits? Name the organization which supervises the functioning of formal source of credit. RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Why is money accepted as a medium of exchange? That's correct.
Signed by the central government, legalized by.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Next is, what is collateral? Next is, distinguish between formal and informal source of credit. So, and, okay, listen to the statement. Prove with an argument that there is a great need to expand formal source of credit in India. I repeat my statement, online you also listen very attentively. Prove with an argument that there is a great need to expand formal source of credit in rural India. So question in a simple word, it means why there is a need to have more formal source of credit in rural India. Perfect. To protect the people or the farmers in the rural India, or people living in the rural areas from the clutches of money lender, because money lenders charge high interest rate. So that's why it is essential that in the rural areas also there should be more and more formal source of credit. That is in the form of banks and cooperative banks. Clear? Next is, that is a paragraph. It's a long paragraph, so you have to have very attentive, right? Quite long paragraph. Rama is working in a neighboring field. She worked as an agricultural labor. There are several months in the year when Rama has no work and need credits to meet the daily expenses. Expenses on sudden illness or function in the family are also met through loans. Rama has to deposit, Rama has to depend on her employer, a medium landowner in Sonpur for credit. Means she has to depend on a money lender. The landowner or the moneylender charge an interest rate of 5% per month. Rama repays the money by working for the landowner. Most of the time, she has to take a fresh loan before the previous loan has been repaid. At present, she owes the landowner rupees 5,000. Though the landowner doesn't treat her well, she continues to work for him since she can get loan from him when in need. Rama tells us that the only source of credit for the landless people in this area is the landowner employers. Have you listened this paragraph attentively? You got what was in the paragraph? Informal source of credit. So let's talk about the question. Is Rama taking a loan from formal or informal source of credit? Informal source of credit, and what was here? Money lender. Second, credit is useful as well as harmful. What is your opinion as regard Rama's? Useful or harmful? Harmful. Debt trap. That's right. She is totally in debt trap. So luckily you people will get such type of questions, and this is of I guess 16 mark questions would be like this. 4 from geography and economics and 4 from 2 from geography and economics and 2 from those two subjects. So it's very easy for you to score marks. But you have to read the paragraph again and again. Twice or thrice you will read the paragraph, then only the gist would come out. Then only actually you would understand what they want to ask, right? Jaldi mein nahi karna hai. I guess there would be 4 questions. Huh? No, that depends. Like here they have CBSE they have given 2 questions also, 3 questions also, but hopefully there would be 4 questions. Okay? So that all from the paragraph. It won't be a problematic for you. See, simple hoga. This is what I feel. Okay, next is second aspect. Banks are not present everywhere in rural India. Even when they are present, getting a loan from the bank is much more difficult than taking a loan from the informal source of credit. Question first. Why is it difficult for the poor to take loan from a bank? Because he is not able to fulfill the terms of credit, which means collateral, documentation, interest rate, and mode of repayment. Okay. That's why poor people, they don't take loan from banks. They can't take actually. And next is, suggest any 2 ways to increase the availability of credit in rural area. Cooperative is correct. Very right. 2 options with them. That is to have cooperative banks, and the second one is self-help group. Dono say they can get loan at a normal interest rate. It means it won't be so high. Clear? Clear, बच्चे? दीपांशु clear बेटा? Getting everything? मुश्किल तो नहीं लग रहा आप लोगों को? Will score good marks? हाँ जी? More banks? हाँ, that is also correct. Setting of more banks in the rural area. That we'll discuss later on. I'll let you know thoroughly, right? So next question. Which of the following is not correct with respect to MNC? First, an MNC owns and controls production in more than one nation. Second, all the local producers have gained from an MNC. Question is not correct. All the local producers have gained from MNC. What is answer? I am repeating everything. You are getting confused. Question is, which of the following is not correct with respect to MNC? First option is, an MNC owns and controls production in more than one country. Is it correct? Okay. All the local producers have gained from MNC. Is it correct? No. So this is the answer. Got it? The most common route for investments by the MNCs in countries around the world is two. First of all, let me know how many ways are there? 4 ways. Which are those 4 ways? Setting up of own production, buying a local
Buying a
partnership. Fourth one is placing order. So there
giving
are,
orders.
that's correct. There are 4 ways through which MNCs control and own the production in all countries of the world. Placing order, joint partnership, own company, set up their own production unit, and buying a local company. Out of all these 4, generally we say it depends. Agar question hai, which one is the best? Buy a local company. Buy a local company. But otherwise, it varies from country to country. If we are talking about our country, we will say buy a local company. Okay. Next is globalization has led to the improvement in living conditions. Option first, of all the people. Option second, of people in the developed countries. Option third, of workers in the developing countries. None of the above. Second is, okay, question is, globalization has led to the improvement in living conditions of all the people. Is it correct? No. Of people in the developed countries, ये वाला correct है, very right. Globalization has given maximum benefit to the developed countries, no to the developing and not at all to the underdeveloped countries. That's why we are struggling for what? All of us are struggling for what? Yeah, countries are struggling for what? I'm saying globalization has given more benefit to the developed countries. We are developing. There are so many underdeveloped countries also. So what is not going on in the world? Fair globalization. So we are struggling for what? We are struggling to have fair globalization where all the countries are developed, underdeveloped or developing. They should get the same kind of benefit, which actually is not going on right now. Next question. Assertion and reason based questions are these. एक दिन इकट्ठे करेंगे. Next is fill up. Dash is a process of rapid integration or interconnection between countries. Globalization. Next, dash is
Globalization.
हाँ जी बच्चे globalization. Next is dash is one of the major factors that has stimulated the globalization process. I repeat, dash is one of the major factors. One of the major factors.
Liberalization.
Liberalization that has stimulated the globalization process. Liberalization, is it correct? Okay, how many factors are there? How many factors are there due to which globalization has stimulated? Two factors. Which are those 2 factors?
Technology and liberalization.
Perfect. Technology and liberalization. Now here question is, which one of the major factors that has stimulated the globalization process?
Liberalization.
Not liberalization? Okay. Answer is technology. Now let's understand why not liberalization? Why technology? Here the question is not with relation to India. They have just asked a question that is, dash is one of the major factors that has stimulated the globalization process. Answer is technology. अगर इंडिया होता तो आंसर आना था लिबरलाइजेशन. दिस इज पॉइंट क्लियर. बाकी वर्ल्ड में ट्रेड बैरियर्स उन्होंने अपने अपने हिसाब से लगाए, बट हमारी कंट्री में ट्रेड बैरियर गॉट रिमूव्ड इन 1991. सो हमारी कंट्री में प्रोमिनेंट इज टेक्नोलॉजी. अनडाउटेडली ग्लोबलाइजेशन हैज टेकन प्लेस ड्यू टू लिबरलाइजेशन. वो है ही है पॉइंट. सो गॉट इट. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज वेरी सिंपल. It is a process of integration or interconnection between different countries. Globalization. Any kind of restrictions which are imposed by the government. Trade barriers. Very right. Answer should be, I always say like this. Next is 1 mark question, 3 mark questions. What is MNC? Distinguish between investment and foreign investment. State any, if anything is not clear, kindly ask. Online, you also, if any question is not clear, kindly ask. Don't sit quietly. Again, I repeat, you people are here to study. Utilize your time properly. 2 months are left. Next is distinguish between investment and foreign investment. Next is stated in 2 ways through which MNCs expand production. Next is why do MNCs set up their offices and factories in those regions where they get cheap labor and other resources? Give me the answer to this question. To get
Profits.
question Assis, that is why do MNCs set up their offices and factories in those regions where they get cheap labor and other resources? To lower down the cost of production. That is also correct. एक मिनट, why